Noel, it's so important to have evenings like this for breeders in Ireland. I mean, it's full of information and there's a wealth of knowledge here. How important is it for you to get that knowledge across to breeders in Ireland?
Well, it's very important in that one of the major tasks for Teagasc is education. Like we have research and development, we have education, and we have another area as well, the transmission of that information. So this is a key part of it. And the emphasis, as you say, is on the breeding side. But I suppose that's what's unique about this evening, is the fact that we're linking the performance to the breeding. And this is an establishment where you can do that because you have world-class horses here at competition level, and then you have a major breeding unit.
Noel, the fact that there is such a huge crowd here, breeders have obviously realised how important it is to link that performance with breeding. Do you think people have learned?
I think if they were listening there to Greg Broderick, it's very clear what the message is. You have to have a very good mare, at least in genetic terms, if you want to breed an international horse. Even if it's not the very top level international horse, at the medium level you still need a good mare, and you need the genes in the mare. They don't always have to perform, as he said in there, and I think the breeders are beginning to get that message. There is no point in taking an ordinary mare with no history in a jumping pedigree and expecting you're going to breed something fantastic. If you do, it's a freak, and the world does not work on the basis of trying to breed freaks, either in the human population or in the horses.
And tell us, how important is it to you to plan breeding, as in to plan for a show jumper or an eventer or whatever discipline?
Well, I think the first thing is you have to decide what you are trying to breed. Are you trying to breed a show jumper, an eventer or a show horse? In my own case, major emphasis on breeding show jumpers. And we would really, I would now at this point, I suppose, in the development of the breeding at home, we're really only setting out to breed from mares with good pedigrees and performance. We have a couple of those, as you know, with Rinkarina and Golden Exchange. Those two have won a lot of Irish classes and international classes, and we'd be hoping that with their pedigree that they might breed something at the top level.
And of course, as you've said, you're a hugely successful breeder and owner.
Moderately successful.
Pretty successful. What has been your biggest achievement to date when you look back?
I think the greatest satisfaction I've had probably was not necessarily the biggest competition. I really enjoyed Rinkarina and Golden Exchange both winning the RDS 6-year-old classes, even though they've won international classes. There's something about the RDS, and Greg mentioned it there, I thoroughly enjoyed that.
And Greg was talking earlier about embryo transfer. Tell us a little bit about that. It was something breeders were a little bit hesitant about, especially if they had a horse competing, that maybe it would turn the horse off her peak. Tell us your views on that.
Well, I have used embryo transplant. I think I've bred about 10 foals by embryo transplant. I think it's not for everybody. I think it's very good if you have the right mare, a really top-class mare, and you must use a top-class stallion. So it's a very expensive operation. You're into 4